Hey, this is Fuchsialatl, and so literally like maybe a couple of days ago, the FNAF teaser trailer had just released, and I'm super excited. This is like something I've been waiting for a really long time, and I'm really happy that we got like any sort of news about it. And so I decided that it'd be a good idea to like make a very quick video on it, just so I have some way to like express my excitement and happiness about the movie and like all that. And so for this video, I decided that that I would talk a little bit about what I hope would happen in the movie. But since I am like trying to be like an art channel, like I'm also gonna do like some drawing in the background. So if you're here just for the like drawing aspect, I'll have the video up and you can just mute me. But if you want to like hear my, thoughts and speculation about the FNAF movie at all, that's basically what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna talk over me drawing some, FNAF movie fan art. So yeah, let's just go right away into it, I guess. Yeah, as you can see, like I'm gonna do some like fan art of the movie version of William Afton, which I guess is a pretty good place to start about what I want to see in the movie. So we didn't really get a lot of him in the trailer, and I know that's probably intentional, just to like keep him kind of a bit mysterious, and so that we're like more eager to see him when he eventually does pop up. But my hopes for like William Afton in general is I know 100% in my heart that Matthew Lillard is going to do a great job no matter what they make him do with the character. But like what I'm personally hoping that we see out of his performance is like a very convincing, like charismatic a little bit of William Afton. Like maybe not to the audience, like we could see right through him that like we know exactly who he is, but like in universe, I kind of wanted to be like convincingly, he would kind of play off the murders and whatever like really well, and he wouldn't come across as being like a murderous psychopath or whatever. And like we can see how the other characters would believe that he's just like he just runs Freddy Fazbear and he has no idea what's going on, and that kind of vibe. Even though like us, the audience, can probably pick up that something about him isn't right. But it would be very cool to see like that play out in the movie where none of the other characters suspect him or think that it's him, or that he like is like very casually just kind of like throwing them off the path a little bit. I think that would be like a very interesting take that we can see, and I think like this version is probably what they're gonna go with. I really hope that it is, because Matthew Lillard himself is like he's played kind of like very like charismatic, slightly goofy, like very like not overtly like the villainous type, but like has like more of a goofy childlike aspect to his villains a little bit, which is like what led me to believe like that's the route they're gonna take, or that's the route I really do want them to take with it, because that would just be perfect. And so moving on to like some other things that I really hope that we got to see in the movie a little bit. I hope we got to see a little bit of like Josh Hutcherson's character, like, and his turmoil, because I know the fan base is like split whether or not he's just going to be Mike Schmidt or whether he's actually going to be revealed to be Mike Afton. And I'm not really going to weigh in on which one I do think he is going to be, but like based on the descriptions that we do get about him, it seems like he has like a very troubled past. So that kind of leans me towards more of one direction, but like what I do hope out of like the character himself is that we do get to see him, be troubled and have guilt about something that happened in the past, and like work through like a kind of redemption arc, which is like what happens in the games with Mike Afton. So even if, he's not going to be Mike Afton himself and just going to be Mike Schmidt, I hope we do have, like those elements of like, loss, guilt, and, like trying to make up for it and have like a redemption, at least in like his own eyes. So that's kind of what I hope for with him. And I hope we see a more active Mike a little bit. Like, apart from the games a little bit. I do hope there is like just like a scene where he does like the FNAF stuff, looking at the cameras and doing all of that. But I hope, he also takes a more active role within the movie, just to like, further the plot and stuff. So that's what I'm hoping out of him. And so the final point that I really hope that they, consider doing in the movie is like having definitive like checkpoints. And what I mean by that is like the FNAF lore in games is getting kind of like messy a little bit. I mean, it's always been kind of messy, but right now with a lot of people trying to like put timelines and stuff together with the new game and how that fits, I hope like the movie, while like it doesn't have to follow the games exactly, but there should be certain like dates, ages, and like locations that are like 100% meant to parallel the games. And so even though what happens in the movie, isn't going to be canon at all to the games, I really hope that like the dates and stuff will be canon, so that way we have like a really good idea of what takes place where, and when it happens and all that. And I think a good indicator of that might be the character Abby. Now this is like getting a little bit into like theory territory, but a lot of people do think that Abby is supposed to be the parallel to Elizabeth Afton. If Mike Schmidt is supposed to be a parallel to Michael Afton, then it would be pretty obvious that his younger sister would be a parallel to Elizabeth. But like if that's truly what happens and the character is still around within the first Freddy locations, so it just kind of like sets up that the crying child did die first, and it happened a long time before Elizabeth, because looking at Abby and like her character description, she's supposed to be like around 10, and looking at like the huge age gap between her and Mike, it kind of seems to me at least that, she was like born either the year that the crying child died or like maybe the year after, because like the age difference between her and Mike is so huge, and like she wouldn't be around by the time crying child, died. It just wouldn't make any sense to like on her age and Mike's age. So it also, it just like seemed a little like out of place, but that would mean that she was like born after the crying child died, which is like already something that hasn't been even like talked about within like theories about the game and stuff, because like in a lot of like theories about it, they die like pretty soon after each other. This new like detail, if it is truly Elizabeth, seems to kind of like throw that into a loop. But like that's not kind of like the point that I want to get across. Sorry, I went like on a tangent there. But like the point I'm trying to get across is like, if that were the case, and if it was, Elizabeth, then we do have, now new evidence of like when certain timeline events could take place. And, that's kind of what really like I'm looking forward to, like at least to see. Even if we don't get like all the like direct answers and like years and stuff, if we have like, the Abby example, it could lead us in the right direction of being like, oh, this happens later because, she's still alive and some of these characters aren't. So it just kind of like, moves stuff around, and, that way we have like a little bit more of like context clues of, when certain things happen. But yeah, that's kind of like what I'm looking forward to in the movie, like having some timeline stuff, finally, cemented and solidified on when they take place. So that way we have like more of a distinct timeline. But yeah, so those are like pretty much like the main things that I want to see out of the movie. So yeah, I guess I'm done, drawing and talking about it. I don't know if I'm gonna like render my like little sketch, but if I do, I'll probably put it up right now. Wow, I did a good job. I think I did a good. I don't know. I don't know if I rendered it, but I hope I did a good job. Rendering it and all that, and I hope you guys enjoyed this like kind of very quick, hastily put together video on me like talking about stuff that I want in the movie. Because again, I'm really excited to see this thing. I didn't really have like too many other people to talk about this with who are as into it as I am, but I just kind of want to get those thoughts out and, show my excitement for it, I guess. Just kind of, show my excitement, get other people excited if they haven't seen it, which I think is kind of very hard because I know a lot of people have been reacting to it and whatever. But yeah, like beyond that, these are just kind of like, thoughts that I have, and I want to hear your thoughts on what's going to happen in the movie, if you are going to watch the movie at all, or if you're just going to completely ignore it, or, any of that kind of stuff. I'd love to hear it, and if you have like any other, ideas or fan art stuff that you maybe want me to do, you can also put that in the comments. Maybe I'll make a video about it. I'll definitely like look at those and see, and see people's reactions and comments and stuff. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Okay, bye.